Welcome to Canada. Just got a bunch of snow the other day. In my opinion, winter came way too early. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Ventured, where I, Garand, take you guys on exclusive tours of independent businesses and local hotspots. Today we're going to be checking out one of my absolute favorite local stores for outdoor gear and apparel, and it is in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, and it goes by the name of Outdoors Oriented. So let's go check it out. All right, here we are at Outdoors Oriented. Like I said, this is my favorite shop locally for outdoor gear and apparel. So I'd like to welcome the owner of the store, Jamie Bingham. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
So first of all, how did this all begin?
Well, the store started in 1994, so it was opened up by my parents, actually. Mm-hmm. And we've been in a couple locations since the opening. So for the first 15 years, we were in just off 4th Avenue in St. Catharines, so not too far from where we currently are. But then the store moved 10 years ago to our current location, which is right at the corner of Van Sickle Road and 4th Avenue in St. Catharines.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And how's it grown so far from like the first inception of the business?
Well, I mean, physically, the store has grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
So the first kind of form factor of the store was 1,800 square feet, and it's now about 5,700. So it's actually grown quite a bit physically. Obviously, to go with that, the product selection has sort of evolved over time as well. And that's something that obviously is partially related to the physical space of the store, but also has to do with us kind of keeping tabs on what our customers are looking for and just always evolving so that we're actually doing our best to service what the people of Niagara are actually looking for.
For sure, yeah. And you guys have an online presence as well, correct?
Yeah. So we started an online store, I think it was about 3 years ago now. It actually has a couple benefits. So one is it obviously allows us to sell our gear all throughout Canada. But the secondary thing is actually it helps our local customers a lot too. Couple things. One is they can actually check our stock online, do a little bit of pre-shopping in that. But it also, because our volume grows and because we're selling more things to more people in Canada, it actually allows our local customers to benefit from that, because we might have twice as many tents as we would be able to stock if we were only selling to St. Catharines, for example, or the Niagara area. But because our volume is a little bit higher, it's just a benefit for everybody.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And it's been doing pretty well for you guys.
Yeah, it has.
This is Canada only at the moment.
Currently, it's Canada only, but it is something that we'll probably be expanding into offering shipping to the United States fairly soon. We currently do actually do it kind of on a like a here and there basis. If somebody actually emails us and they see something specific that they want that we have and they're from the United States, we're happy to ship it to them and work it through. But at least as far as the website is concerned, the way it's set up right now is it's just Canada, but definitely something might change in there in the future.
Nice. And you guys obviously have a lot in this store. What are some of the brands, some of the top brands, and why did you decide to bring these specific brands in?
Well, I guess it depends a little bit on if you're looking at the hard goods side of the business or more the clothing and footwear side of the business. But I guess in hard goods, we obviously do a big business in kayaks, which you can see behind us. So we do a couple of the big brands there: Wilderness Systems, Perception, Delta, which is a Canadian brand. in the gear side of things, we've always done a really good selection of Marmot stuff. We've been a Marmot dealer for many years, and they've got some of the best tents and sleeping bags, and as well as clothing and outerwear and that sort of thing as well. Osprey is a huge brand for us in backpacks. It's by a long shot our number one backpack brand.
Definitely one of my favorite brands.
Yeah, for sure. And then when you go to the clothing side, we've got, like I said before, Marmot, Cool, which is somewhat of a unique brand that you're only going to find at more core outdoor stores, which is something that we really like. The quality is amazing, but it's something that's a little bit more unique than just your average, like Columbia, let's say, for example, which you can see and find just about anywhere. So that's always something that we're looking at, is to try and differentiate a little bit and just offer something that's a little bit different than what you're going to find at just a big box store or something like that. So Cool definitely fits that. What else? There's lots of others. Patagonia is a brand that it's on the rise right now. Something that we're definitely excited to carry. So that's a big one. Then we've got a lot of Canadian brands like Indigena, Women's, Fig, Lowly. We have North Face. So there's actually quite a few different brands in the clothing side of things. In footwear, we carry kind of the standard hiking brands that you'd think of. So Keen, Merrell would definitely be the ones that you can think of sort of off the bat. But again, looking at stuff like to specialize a little more and go unique, stuff like Oboes, Chaco in sandals, Vask. So there's a lot of brands like that as well that we do. So
nice. And how do you kind of is there a way that you guys guide customers with what they should buy and what they shouldn't buy, or like how do you guys provide the advice?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for starters, it starts with just making sure that we do hire people that are active in the outdoors and have an actual genuine interest in the outdoors. So what you won't find is somebody that's just kind of here for a paycheck, and they saw an ad and they're like, sure, whatever, I can work there. So definitely the people that work here, obviously it's their job, but they want to be here.
And they've used the product most likely. They've used
the product. A lot of the times they even actually know our customers and that just from actually being out there and doing things. Like they might paddle with them or hike with them or something like that. So they're like-minded people, which makes the conversation really easy. When our staff are talking to customers, they can relate to what they're doing because they've probably done it themselves. And it's more of a guidance than it is selling.
For sure, yeah. And that's always best, right? I feel. The staff are fairly well trained, and that's something that we do almost ongoing, but definitely as the beginning of every season starts, we'll do what's called product knowledge clinics. So we'll actually have representatives from the companies come into the store, and they'll actually do a clinic on what's new in whatever, Atlas snowshoes, for example. And they'll talk about all the new models, and we'll make sure that the staff are really up to date on them. So again, something that the staff can just naturally guide the customer into. And so there's a little bit of both. There's the product knowledge, but there's also just the fact that it's kind of, like I said, low pressure and more guidance than anything else. Yeah, for sure. And basically, I've shopped here quite a bit as well. And basically at the end of the experience, right before you leave, when you're cashing out, you guys also pay attention to like the very fine details. Like you guys use paper bags. And you guys also trying to reuse cardboard.
So I mean, obviously, I think this day and age, hopefully everybody's trying to do their part in reducing and recycling and everything else. Definitely, that's something that we've been doing for a long time. And it starts with, I mean, you mentioned bags, but that's a good situation where a lot of the time we're not even giving bags.
Exactly.
And I think myself, and I know a lot of the other staff, it's not a question of like paper or plastic. It's more a question of, do you even need a bag?
It's kind of a lot become of the time, accepted, right?
Because of where we're located, we're not in the middle of a mall or something like that where you're going to be carrying your purchase around. You're parking probably 20 feet from the door, so it's just a matter of getting your item to the car. And the fact that most of what we sell is outdoor gear, so it probably can handle getting from the store to the car, even if it's raining or something like that. So it's stuff like that. You mentioned like shipping. So we reuse all our boxes for shipping. It's very rare actually that we're using a brand new box for shipping out an online order. Which can be funny at times too. We try and put a little note on the boxes saying that we reuse boxes, but we definitely had customers contact us before saying, "Hey, why did I just get a box of like mac and cheese dehydrated food when they actually ordered a sweater or something like that?"
Yeah, so, it's not going to keep you warm. I mean, maybe from the inside out, but
So.
Nice. And then. Do you guys do events? What kind of events do you guys do? Do you have like annual events you guys do?
Yeah, actually we do. We've got a few different events. So we've got some that are an annual thing every year. Probably the biggest one and what most people would know us for would be our paddle day, which is the first Sunday in May at Charles Daly Park, which is just on the outskirts of St. Catharines. And we've been doing that now for, well, in one way, shape or form, almost since the beginning. But it's something that we do. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that come out to it, and it's an event where it allows our customers to test paddle all the kayaks for no charge. Cool. So they can just come out and there's tons of staff on hand. So we would kind of guide them to maybe types of kayaks that they'd be looking at. And then we obviously throw a life jacket on them, put them out in the water, and then they can actually get out and test drive the kayaks. So
that's quite a unique experience. I haven't really heard much like that, especially like you get to try out like basically a brand new kayak for the like this year's model, and then you have like discounts and or promotions.
There's always sales on that day as well, and that's obviously just one of the events. Like I said, it's probably one of our biggest ones. Something we started a few years ago was a gear swap, and that's been really popular. So that's and actually kind of going back to the more sustainable sort of mindset. The gear swap is a great option because what it does is it allows our customers to bring in gear that they're not using anymore. Still probably perfectly fine, but they're not using it. They can sell it, and then they're going to get a credit for whatever it sells for to use for something else in the store. So maybe they used to do more kayaking and now they've transitioned to hiking. Well, they can get rid of their kayak. Somebody else is going to get a great deal on it, and it's going to fund their hiking boots and hiking pants and trekking poles or something like that. So that's a neat event. We just did one last week, which was a paddle painting night, which was kind of cool. We brought in some kind of raw unfinished paddles from Grail, one of our manufacturers, invited the customers to come in, had about 20 people here, and they painted up their paddles, totally unique, and the quality was really quite awesome actually. We had a couple people here that could guide them and help them out a little bit, and now they're actually on their way, or they're back at Grey Owl getting finish coat on them, and then they'll come back and it'll make for some awesome Christmas presents. That's pretty awesome.
That's going to be nice on the wall.
So that's the type of thing, like that's something that we just started this year, but it'll be something that we do continue with. So we try and kind of think up unique events like that and keep it fresh, and it's just sort of all part of what we do.
Nice. And I've also seen you guys are trying to kind of do like maybe not a weekly or some type of gear review on your YouTube channel.
So that's something that we've started fairly recently. We've dabbled in blogs a little bit, like just sort of written blogs and stuff. But I think the way that everything's going now is online video is just so important, and it's only going to continue to get more important. So definitely we're doing a lot of not a lot, but we're working our way into it. Obviously, it's something that you're not going to come out as an expert right off the bat, but I think we're getting there. So we've been touching on some of our most popular products, and like I said, as time goes on, we'll continue to build more reviews, and helps again our local people, but especially our online customers that might not physically get into the store and actually be able to talk one-on-one with one of our staff, but maybe they can instead watch a video, and in a lot of cases it's our staff that are doing them. So these are the same people that you're going to see if you're in the store that are doing the videos online.
Nice. What are some of the challenges that you kind of see with the store?
I would say probably one of our biggest challenges is just making people aware that there's a lot more to the store than just outdoor equipment and kayaks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to be known as the place for that sort of thing in Niagara. But I think one of the things that we're constantly working on is trying to get people in the door that maybe aren't as outdoorsy. Maybe they're not interested in kayaking, and they don't realize how much great clothing we sell, and footwear and that. So like we have the customers obviously that do know that, and we have a lot of regulars that come in. They could be teachers, they could work in like office buildings and that, and they're buying just casual clothes, which a lot of these companies that we kind of talked about before, they do sell. There's a whole line of sort of sportswear from all these companies, like dresses. Like you ask somebody on the street and you say, hey, like, I bought this, or maybe it's a lady and they say, hey, I bought this dress at Outdoors Oriented. And you're like, what?
Yeah, what
you
kind
mean
of
the
dress?
kayak store? It's like, no, there's actually like Patagonia and Lowly and all these, like there's tons of dresses, there's tons of like casual sandals and stuff like that. So that's something that we're always trying to sort of get out there and bring people in and say there's more to Outdoors Oriented than just the gear. So that's definitely one of the challenges. I would say something else is, because we sort of do try and go for that kind of, I mean, we always look at value. So we're getting better quality stuff that's going to last and it's going to perform, and we have to trust it. So when we're buying gear for the following year, we're going to be looking at brands that we kind of know and trust, and we understand the technologies they're using in that. But it does mean that sometimes the prices are a little bit higher than what you might see at, nothing wrong with this, but maybe like Walmart or something like that. So yes, the prices are going to be higher. So it's something that we do kind of have to just educate people on, that you're going to spend a little bit more, but it's going to last so much longer and it's going to provide so much better use and enjoyment. So it's worth it. And something else that I always like to kind of touch on is, yes, you're going to spend a little bit more money, but we're extremely conscious of making sure that our prices are competitive on the same gear. So something that happens is when we would receive in new products, one of the first things we do is we do a little bit of research on what are those products selling for everywhere else, because we're obviously selling them locally, but we're also selling them online. And if our prices are out of whack online, nobody's going to buy them from us. So we make sure that our prices are competitive, and obviously we can't be monitoring that all the time. So if a price is cheaper somewhere else, then we've got price match policy. So our big goal is to make sure that people are still getting a good price and they're not having to shop kind of elsewhere. That we're really trying to give them the complete package. The selection, the service, and the prices are always in line. Yeah, for sure. And that helps like drive the local economy too, right? Trying to get people to come to this store. That's I think that's a big feature, to always try and support your local. Ignore that.
So yeah, there you have it, guys. Outdoors Oriented. Make sure to go check them out at outdoorsoriented.com. And you can find more information on these guys at theventuredofficial.com. If you guys haven't yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe to see more of these exclusive tours of independent businesses and local hotspots with The Ventured. And I'm also curious, please leave in the comment section below where you guys think I should go next. What are some of the places in your city, in your hometown, that you like to go to and you like to support? Maybe one day I can have them featured on The Ventured. So thank you very much for watching The Ventured. Jamie, thank you very much for being on here, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See you later. I'm trying to record. You can't be playing with the boxes. You can't. And action.